What's up, Navigating Academia family? This is your buddy Dr. J. Phoenix Singh coming at you to be able to answer a short valued viewer's question today. And this is a pretty simple question, which is how many graduate schools should you apply to? Now, yes, this is definitely going to differ between fields, obviously. But generally speaking, any field in which you're going to be doing research, where you're going to be doing, for example, a doctoral dissertation project. This could be in marine biology. This could be in clinical psychology for a clinical psych PhD. It could be for an EDD, so a doctorate in education. Whatever it happens to be, where at the end of the day, the doctoral dissertation is going to be something that is a serious part of the program, right? My recommendation is that you apply to no more than 3 to 5 programs. If you watch me make other or talk about this in other videos here on the channel, the reason for this is that people make an epic mistake of thinking that if they apply to a ton of programs, 10 to 20 programs, some people say, which is the biggest mistake you'll make in your life. I'm guaranteeing it now, right? That somehow gives you a higher probability of getting into at least one program. No, it minimizes your likelihood of getting in anywhere, okay? Why do I say that? Because the things that are actually going to get you into programs more than anything else are personal connections. Personal connections, number one, publications, number 2, and relatedly, but not as much, conference papers and posters, right? Really, though, when it comes to those first 2, publications and personal connections, you need to get started early in terms of doing this. I'm talking about a freshman year, you can get started. It's a huge mistake if you're 3 to 6 months before applying to a doctoral program and you're just now trying to figure out what schools you want to apply to, because you're going to be competing against people who have known for years and years and years and have literally set up their entire life to be able to get into a particular program, okay? Choosing these schools should be based solely upon not the name of the school, but the name and reputation of your target supervisor. If it's a research-based doctorate, that is the key. I actually have a 3-step process that I take my mentees through to be able to make sure they know exactly who their target supervisor should be and hence what their target program should be. If you're interested in doing that with me, just book a session via my website below, right? It's www.jphoenixsing.com. I will go through one-on-one with you, okay? And we can go through this. I have had within the last 12 months more than 10 mentees who have all told me the same thing, that they got rejected from all of their programs. And the reason why oftentimes is they applied to way too many. When you apply to too many programs, what happens is that you dilute your time, attention, and your just emotional investment in programs. You need to truly be able to understand everything about every program you're applying to and get to know everything you can about your target supervisor's background. I want you to be poring over their CV, find out what conferences they like to go to, find out, how often do they actually co-author pieces? So in other words, publications, especially in good impact factor journals. So higher impact factor journals, depending on the field, what constitutes a high impact factor will differ, right? But you need to find out, are they doing that with students? If so, is it in the last several years? Or maybe recently they're just not publishing as much. That's an important thing to know, right? If they're not publishing as the first author or the last author, which in most fields is the senior author, that differs for some other fields, but at least in behavioral health, first author and senior author being the last author are the 2 most important positions. That's something that you need to know about. You need to go to YouTube and you need to go to podcasts and you need to literally find out as much as you can in terms of nonverbal communication of these individuals. It is legit critical that you do it, and the sooner you can do it, the better. But because I want you to take so much time learning everything you can about individual programs, that is why I don't want you to pick more than 3 to 5 programs, because it's going to drive you crazy. And yes, every statement of purpose, every personal statement you write for grad school, you have to tailor it to every single program. If you apply to 15 programs and you submit the same statement of purpose, which is minimal tweaks, guys, you're like screwed. I'm sorry, it's just not going to work, okay? There's so much that goes into this. Acceptance rates for things like my field, clinical psych PhDs, I joke you not, last year during the pandemic, it was 0.5 to 2% acceptance rate. This year, just like other years, usually it's about 4%. Harder to get into the medical school here in the United States. If you really think that you're the protagonist of your movie and that everything is going to work out fine, that you shouldn't be worried just because, you're sorely mistaken. Okay, I wish that I knew all this kind of stuff when I was applying to programs. I got really lucky to have one or two good mentors to at least point me in the right direction. And then over the last 17 years, I figured out exactly how this system works. So like I said, if you want a personal mentor to be able to go through this process with you, it would be a pleasure for me to do that with you. And you can book a session via the website below. Appreciate your guys' time. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.